Hello everyone and welcome to special Blunders. I've reviewed several thousand games of players, 25, 2600 and above with some serious mistakes or big blunders in it, and I've chosen a tiny bit more than 20 to show you today. Some of them are really just funny. Some of them weren't so funny for the ones that actually play them, but really funny, and it's a great entertainment seeing 2700 getting mated in 1, 2 moves, 3 moves, blundering queens, and, well, just happy time. Alright, let's start with, I think in my opinion, the number one blunder for 2008. This is at least my taste. This is a game from Russia Championship between Morozevich, almost 2800, and his opponent Maslak, 2550, but played in such a strong tournament. Well, Black was winning almost winning for part of the game, and this is number 60, move number 69. Morozevich played Queen D4. And obviously, White Queen has a big task preventing the King of doing anything. And it should be a draw. The King has no real escaping square. And King F1 was played. And I remember I saw this game and I saw White won and I said, how? This is Queen. I mean, Black is winning here. Okay, this is quite... I'm sorry, not to F2. This is quite some mate, one would say. So, I guess if you can win those games, yes, you can be 2800. So, this is Morozevich Maslak. The other game which I have to show, I think, I'm not sure which one is actually the best of 08. I'm taking it back because this one is super duper special as well. This is between Bu Zhangji against Nakamura, the tiebreak in the Gibraltar tournament. Let's set Black first. Bu was actually like cruising through this tournament. He had, like, I believe 8.5 out of 10, and then suddenly like lost a game and drew another one and let Nakamura chase him, or maybe he had 9.5 out of 10. I think 9.5 out of 10. I'm sorry, something like he had a crazy score and scored quite badly. The last round, Nakamura matched him, and they played a tiebreak. And White was tiny bit better for most of the game, but not substantial enough to win, I assume. So this is I believe a rapid game, and it was Black to play, who played Rook E7. Well, most likely after just King B6 or King B8, C8. Black has a very clear fortress here, and White's chances are above exactly 0. Yet Bu played King D6 with the idea of, after Rook D7, well, Queen taken, White is winning. Only to miss, yes, this unbelievable Papam, Knight E4, made in the center of the board to allow Nakamura to win the tournament in Gibraltar. Really unbelievable, unbelievable example. The other one, well, let's see some other more in the mating types. Fun. Alright, the next example, also missing mating idea. Well, this one, well, not really mating one, like we saw the first two games, but still, forgive me for that, but still not far away from that. This is a game between Carlsen and Shirov from Aerosvit around June this year, of course. And let's see what we have here. Well, Black is obviously trying to play for a win, or at least that's what he was thinking. The material is equal. He has a outside dangerous pass pawn. Only one tiny thing he was missing. His king on h5 is tiny bit under stress. Carlsen played rook e6. And here after bishop c7 or bishop b8, black is just fine. Instead, Shirov played a very natural bishop g7, right? We want to support the pawn, only to find out that after... this is amazing that bishop g7 is resigning. That's it. This is just... black has to give an enormous amount of material to avoid checkmate. Look at this king. If you just play a natural move, and now you decide how you want to checkmate, with the f pawn or with the h pawn, well, whatever seems prettier to you. So unbelievable. There is no way to prevent those other than like giving away the bishop. Sorry, bishop f6 I believe is the only way to, you know, avoid checkmate for few moves. Unbelievable. Just an innocent move and a huge blunder. Another one of those guys missing a simple checkmate idea. Another game. This time we go to see again, all those players are, you can't get any stronger players than this in the world these days. This is a game between Gelfand and Rajabov. Vikan Z, 2008 of course, and well, a very complicated game. Gelfand is white. Let's set the position quickly and we'll see very complicated position here. The question is, which king is weaker? Well, check king g5 seems like a reasonable move. And here white needs to decide whether black king is weaker or white king is weaker. This was move 35, so I can assume they were on about time trouble here. So white played queen take h7, which is just being checkmated by force. The correct way would have been queen e7, king h6, and take. Why is this such a big difference? Because the black's king is on h6 and not on g5. Let's see the game and we're going to see why this was such a huge difference. Check, check, and check. And king h1 is just mate. And now the key critical moment, king h3, queen g4 mate. Now we understand why it's so important for black to have his king on g5 to defend the g4 square. With the king on h6, the position is about equal. So again, not so easy to defend against checkmates. This position, the following one I'm going to set, is I will let you decide. This is a game between Rajabov with the white pieces against Gelfand, and this is a very important game. This was played in the the Rapid World Championship very early this year. I don't think you will consider this a blunder in the most usual way of blunders. The pawn is on h3. So white played here queen c3. And okay, after queen e3, I believe that this is first of all a blunder, just losing on the spot, because queen e3 and mate is following very quickly. But Ivanchuk played rook g8 and lost. And if you ask, how did he lose here? Well, his flag fell down. So, as I said, I don't think this is a blunder in the sense that you would think it is, but having your flag fell down in basically a won position or almost winning, when this was a very critical. I believe that Rajabov won this match because of this game. This is some massive blunder, one would have to say. So this is, let's forget for a second about checkmates. Yes, having your clock fall down, not a very good way to finish the game. Another one, well, this is by the number 1 ranked player in the world as of now, Mr. Topalov, playing with the black pieces against Carlsen, and don't ask me why or what, but there is something going on between those two guys. If you remember, Topalov resigned last year, drawish position against Carlsen, and for some reason, just things don't go that well for Topalov playing with Carlsen. This was another example that exactly the same way. Pretty amazing. I don't know, maybe he has his voodoo doll or something. Alrighty, what black took on f1 and white took back. It is clear that black was better for most of the game. Carlsen played the opening not very well and just got into trouble. Black is 2 pawns up, but yeah, his king maybe tiny bit weak. Still, it's clear that after a move such as queen d5, trying to bring back the knight, black is playing here for a win, of course. Well, Topalov played king take g7, not yet a blunder, but a wrong move. After this, the position is just equal. Bishop d8, an excellent move, attacking the knight on a5 and preparing queen f6. Still, black is just fine here. After, for example, queen d5, bringing the queen to defense, queen f6, oh sorry, take is the simplest way. Take, take, and just a simple perpetual check. Topalov played a very logical move. Really very logical. Bringing the knight back. 3 pawns up on the way to victory. But oh my gosh, what a surprise did he have here after queen f6, queen e6, another check, and king f8, king g7 will change nothing because of bishop f6. If the king goes to h6, it's mate, and if the king goes to f8, it's just like the game. And here, once again, Carlsen has done it to Topalov. Black resign here. This is simple checkmate, and I also know that not very easy to defend against those two checkmates. Pretty amazing, 4 moves, and I pretty much remember that Topalov had enough time here. This wasn't, it's move 33, 34, but Topalov didn't have half a minute on his clock. He had enough time. This is purely an unbelievable blunder by the number 1 player in the rating list, just getting checkmated in that way. Another checkmate, another super strong player. Well, white is super strong, black used to be super strong. This is a game between Karyakin and Short in their friendly rapid match in, I believe it was, in Kiev. Well, Karyakin won this match in a very decisive way. I mean, today is somewhere between almost 100 points higher, well, 80, 70 than Short, but let's not forget, 15 years ago, Short played a match for the World Championship after beating no other than Karpov in the semi-final, so definitely at one point he was really one of the strongest guys out there. Alrighty, this is move 36. This is the game number 1 of that match, and the match ended, if I remember correctly, 7.5, 2.5 for Karyakin. Definitely a crushing result, but this game had a lot to do with that. Karyakin has attacked most of the game, but, well, suddenly not very clear. This is not the most active queen I've seen, and White King is also without many defenders. Rook g8. Well, naturally, just take, and this is a draw. Maybe Short was afraid of his king here. I mean, king f6 is losing the queen, right? But, so Short played immediately after, and can you find a way for black? It looks like, oh, the queen is horrible, and, black just needs one move and going to win the game, and what can I do here? I assume that's what Short was thinking, only to miss the very beautiful ba-bam. Queen takes f6 and another mate, and the game was over. Short didn't take back the queen, just resigned right away. Alrighty, we have few more mating positions. The next one is between Milov and Tregubov. Quite strong players, 26-50, tiny even bit more. I believe this was just a matter of big time trouble, but still, it is funny and we'll show it. This is from the Corsica tournament. It's a rapid tournament. White is a piece up, but actually not incredibly simple position. Not incredible simple position, because the king is tiny bit weak and the d-pawn is very dangerous. Rook a1 was played, queen c7. And here, of course, after queen g3, well, white is about winning. I'm pretty sure white should be winning that position, but there is some work to be done. Milov played, probably with seconds on the clock, king g1, only to find out that after rook g1 it is mate on the next move. There is a knight here, and the square is not protected. I believe that Tregubov won this match. Well, a lot to do, or everything to do with this example. Okay, how about several queen? Just losing the queen in one move. Let's go see some of those guys doing that in 2008. Morozevich against Gelfand, a rapid tournament. I'm sure that, well, there's nothing to even be sure. It's clearly a time trouble thing, but it doesn't mean, again, I'm saying, that it's not really funny. Well, Morozevich played queen. Oh, his king is on f1. Let me just fix that one. Morozevich played queen b3. To be honest, there is no real threat even, because, well, if take on e7, the king takes back, and black is going to have an easy perpetual here. Just simple. King e6 is fine, but Gelfand chose to place the queen on e6, and I don't really think you need me for knight to d8. That's how this one ended. Another queen. This one, I hope that I copied the games correctly and just followed it. Sasikran, a 2700 player from India, playing with the white pieces against Mikhail Gurevich. Today, just 26-30, but once one of the really, really strongest players in the world. In the early 90s, I remember someone told me every endgame he had was just a winning. Probably played the best technique in that for 1 or 2 years in the early 90s. Maybe second only to Karpov at that time, but incredible player. So, quite a complicated position here. Well, white definitely has some pawns in the center, but, well, tiny bit exchange down. White played queen g4. Again, this is a rapid tournament, and the text shows queen takes a2, rook takes a2, and you don't need any more further explanations. Those are 2650, 2700 players. Well, it is just fun. Alright, we had 2 queen. Now let's go see 2 losing the queens immediately. A very cool position. This is actually a position almost taken from a puzzle book. This is between Jubava, 2650, against Hernandez, 2580 player. And let's see, this is really a puzzle book type of position. White was attacking massively throughout the game, but Black played quite well. The position is anything but clear and simple. So White is a piece down, but this king is somewhat not the safest one, and this is definitely a very dangerous pawn. White played queen g7. Well, definitely trying to avoid exchange of queens, but also having another very, very sinister idea. Black should have played. Well, how about before I say what Black should have played, I'll say why don't you think about what is White's idea? Let's say Black does nothing, a3, b3, Black does nothing. What's White's idea? Well, Black played queen f6, and White showed his idea in a very clear way. This is White's idea, not a very bad one. Well, Black resigned obviously after queen takes rook, and the correct move would have been, since this is the threat, take the rook and rook e8 to get the king out of the d8 square. And very messy position, yet it was decided by checkmate in few moves. Another one, not far away from that, not exactly a checkmate, but extremely strong players. Fresinet, one of French top player, and Mesija from Poland. This was a long line in the Petrov defense. And White sacrificed the pawn and another one to get some initiative. And this position was reached after move 22nd by Black. It is White to play here. We're going to see it in 1 second. And White played the most natural move, which is, half a second, queen takes d5. Alright, we can definitely see White is on the 7th rank on the e-file, but Black looks very solid. White took this pawn, aiming for those two guys. Well, can you see any threatened idea by White? Well, let's say that it's White to play, what would he play? Black played a5, which doesn't change it. And this is from the European Championship, I believe, the individual European Championship in Bulgaria. And here White played, yes, simple back rank mating. Again, if I ever to write a puzzle book, this would be the chapter of the back rank issues. Black just resigned. This is unbelievable. The correct simple way would be probably to take. The only tiny difference, I can also take here, no more mating, so rook e3, and this seems like a reasonable way to draw this game. Again, 2650, 2700 against 2650, pretty unbelievable example. Another one from exactly the same tournament, the European individual tournament. This is from, well, tiny bit, not a strong player, Moisenko, still 2650. Black is Carlson, 2500. White was attacking. Oh, really? This game, really, White was attacking. Like, trust me, that was like, White was basically throwing everything forward, and they reached that position. It's not Carlsen, it's Carlson. Just if someone is wondering who am I talking about. Yes, not to confuse. Carlsen was 2500 probably when he was 5 or something like that. So, alrighty. This is the position, almost set. Too many pieces here, and then proved to be really messy for black. I'm sorry. Okay. It is black to play, and the most natural move is King f6. And white played knight takes g7. And can you see rook e6 mate? Yeah, I can see that. Black most likely has to play something like g4. White is much, much better, but the game is not over yet. Well, black decided, oh, a free bishop. I assume only thinking about this move, but after rook e6, checkmate on the board, that was actually played. Suddenly the knight on a3 seems absolutely meaningless. Another weird mating position. Again, not the best player in the world, but trust me, if you are above 2200, you don't know whatever level, you don't like being mated over the board. But for players that are masters or above, it's already quite rare. Let's look at this position. White is Kazgilev, 2650, and Megaranto is black, 2530. This is a tournament in September 08. I'm not sure exactly which tournament is that, so I'll just say tournament from September 08. And look at that position. I guess that's what the people had in this position. And black should be winning here, but he has only 2 moves to play. Black can either play Queen e4 blocking, which is winning on the spot. Well, he had actually Knight e7 also, a legal move, but Queen e7 and just game over, or King f3, only to lose to checkmate on the next move, or the next 2 moves. So too many checkmates that were actually missed here by too many strong players. Alright, let's see some other examples that don't really involve checkmate, but just really quite funny blunders. Okay, we have here a tournament from Russia with super strong player Rizintsev with the white pieces, 2640, and Peter Svidler with the black pieces. I believe the fifth time Russia champion. He won his last title this year in a tiebreak in October 08. So let's see this one. But this is from another tournament. But still, it is I believe it's a team tournament in Russia. White is, well, clearly better here. Let's just set everything. Yeah, this is the position, and white is clearly better. Black is passive and suffer from some no space. Well, if queen takes b2, just simply rook b1, and another great piece of white is going to enter the game. So Peter played rook f3, and well, after simply rook g3, white is clearly better, but white chose to miss a simple pin. Played rook g5, well, attacking the queen, gaining extra tempi. Maybe sometimes, rook can go to h5. I think if you take 30 seconds, you can see what's wrong with that move. Yes, after queen take g5, not so much activity for that rook, and white just resigned immediately. Well, let's see another funny example. This is the weakest I'm saying, from all examples I have, but just a fun example. Simply, the title I would put is Forgetting My Queen. That's what happened to white here. This game is between Tahirov against Collins, Hastings. Alrighty. Well, we can definitely see white didn't do that great in this game so far. This bishop. No, this is not a position white wants to play. Black played knight e6, I'm sorry. Just the knight coming to f4, and those weaknesses after exchange of queens are very clear. And white, in a very logical way, is saying, well, if I'm going to take, I'll need to defend this one, and this one might be under attack. Big problem. So, okay, I'm going to play bishop d1. And after this move, okay, well, this happened in the game, so not a very nice example of the queen. If this one was, the title could have been Forgetting My Queen. The next one is, let's give my opponent a queen. So, let's see, this is a really cute one, I think. Again, not top players here. Iotov against Bogner, 25-30, 24-20. It's a very interesting position by itself, first of all. White is playing with no king. He has some dangerous c-pawn. Alright, must be quite a king. I mean, did it come from the King's Indian? I would assume this is a King's Indian type of game, but I'm not sure. Well, white played here. Oh, I'm sorry, I'm missing another white knight on e4, on e6. White played here the most logical move. Knight h takes f4. Black has one thing to do, to worry about this pawn. This is something to really worry about. But right now, it's not very clear how white can do anything. Black can even just take, and if knight d5, knight go to c8, and the king is going to come and help. Obviously not take, because take and queen. So this was, for example, one possibility, but without much thought, I would assume white went with his king to the center. But in this case, center is less important. I believe white wants to, well, maybe take on f4 and king e5 or stuff like that. But after knight d5, he says, aha, how did I play the only move to immediately allow my opponent to have a queen? Yes, those things can happen. This is move 49, so I don't assume this is a big time trouble situation. So just a huge blunder situation. Alright, let's see a few others, and this one. This is not checkmate, not a queen, but just not winning such an important tournament, the strong close tournament in Biel this year. Dominicus that won the Blitz World Championship a month, 2 months ago. Is a very, very strong player. Was leading almost all the tournament in Biel and playing excellent chess. I believe he lost the last round in the tournament. He had a full point advantage, if I remember correctly. And Alexeyev shared the first place with him. Then they played a tiebreak. And again, it's a rapid game, but I'm telling you, we are talking about the Blitz World Champion of 2008. So definitely playing fast time control is not something very rare for Mr. Dominicus. Alright, white is a piece up. It looks tiny bit messy, but not more than that. Black is basically just completely losing. Bishop e3. This is game 4 of the tiebreak. If Dominicus wins this one, he wins the entire Biel tournament, which he really deserved to win. So what would we play here? Well, simple. Bishop takes, e3 is good enough, and take. Many other moves are possible. Well, maybe not many others, but enough moves are possible to win on the spot for white. Rook d1, another simple move. White took here. Everything looks great, right? I mean, the rook is under attack, the bishop is protected, and if queen takes, only that this move is losing immediately. Instead of being a bishop up, white just have to actually give his queen right now. And black won this one very easily. Quite a tragic way not to win the Biel tournament. It's super strong. I believe it was category 18 tournament because of that horrible blunder. Alright, we'll end up with 2 games. One of them is one of the shortest defeats, basically, or should have been, in 2008. I'm just going to show the entire game because the position I want to show is a very, very early position. This is a game between Ivanchuk that started the Sofia tournament with 5 out of 5 in the first half of the tournament, playing against Bu Zhangji. Alright, so it's gonna be a very, very quick blunder here. b5, b3, bishop h5, bishop g4 already, maybe not the best idea, but knight e5, and here was necessary to play bishop to e6. After bishop h5, amazingly enough, white is on the verge of winning, just winning. Take on b5, and after this move, this is just over on the spot. Bishop takes b5. This is, wow, this is move 9, and we have 27, I don't know, 27, 50, 60, 70, 80, Ivanchuk rating against Bu 2710. Just game over. If knight b d7, just knight takes d5, and the game is over. Sorry, too many threats here. f6, c7, and if take has happened in the game, no way really to prevent losing a full rook. Well, Bu played e6 and actually managed to tiny bit somehow complicate matters, but Ivanchuk won on move 30. So this is quite let's say, I believe the quickest decisive game. Move 9, the game was over. And our last blunder, and probably the most important blunder of 2008, belongs to Kramnik, playing in game number 5 against Anand in the World Championship match. And well, at that point there were 3 draws, and Anand won game number 3 with the black pieces, and after losing another game with the white pieces, basically the match was almost over. Game number 6, which Anand won with white very decisively, really sealed the deal and the World Championship match. So in my opinion, this position which we're going to see is the most critical one for this entire match. Again, a very sharp, complicated lines in the Slav defense, and Anand with the black pieces playing Rook c5. And I have to say, the funny, amazing story. I was hosting that day on ICC. John Spielman was the commentator, and he mentioned a very funny line with knight d4. And I remember I said, oh, okay, come on, I'm sure they see this. It's a simple line, but still, it's a beautiful line, John. And what happened next cannot be described. b4, rook c3, and knight takes d4. And I was thinking like, oh my gosh, didn't Kramnik just hear what John Spielman said on ICC? Queen takes d4, rook d1, knight f6, all of this is forced. If you want to stop and try to see for yourself what's the deal, you're very welcome. It's a great exercise. Rook d7, not d6, rook d7, king f6, rook takes b7, rook c1 check, bishop f1. This line exactly, just without b4, was mentioned by Mr. Spielman, and here the winning move for black, which Kramnik didn't see, and if you don't see this move, well, maybe your opponent should be the world champion for this year. Knight e3. That's it. That's it. No words. Just no words. I had many other examples, but we had enough ideas and enough examples from strong players. I mean, obviously there are even funnier or other examples by weaker players. My job, or what I want to do, is really to show that everyone can play this way, and I don't know, maybe in 09 we're gonna have even funnier blunders by those Ivanchuk, Kramnik, Anand, all those guys missing even simpler position. I'll be there and here to try and find those and show them to you. And happy Christmas, everyone. Happy New Year.